PAX West just in time for E3 in September. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and I am back from PAX West and all my travels, so I am excited to jump right in. Today is Friday, September 16th. See, it's been a while. I gotta shake the rust off a little bit. And that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Like I said in the cold open, it's E3 in September. We had a lot of showcases this week, so without further ado, let's hop right in. Going all the way back to Saturday of last week, we had an Ubisoft Forward. They announced 4 new Assassin's Creed projects, one of which was a mobile game. They had talked about Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is they said it's a platform, so I think it's like a hub. I don't know if it's a launcher. Maybe that was kind of my guess at what it is. But they had a really cool live action trailer for it where they just showed off all of the different places Assassin's Creed has gone, which was really cool. And they also talked about a few places that we'll be going. The upcoming Assassin's Creed game will be Assassin's Creed Mirage, which takes place in Baghdad. So a little bit back to Assassin's Creed roots back in the Middle East. So it should be fun there. The one I was excited about was Assassin's Creed Hex. I think that was just a code name. But it takes place during the Salem witch trials, so we're back in like the 1600s America region, so that should be pretty similar to like Assassin's Creed 3, maybe even the same character. They finally announced they are going to feudal Japan, so we finally have Assassin's Creed Ninja. I think the code name was Red for it, but and these are all like really far. If they're announcing code names, these games are all really far out, but still trying to get people excited for upcoming Assassin's Creed games. The Ubisoft Forward wasn't all Assassin's Creed games, although that was kind of the main theme there. They also reminded everybody that Mario plus Rabbids comes out later this year, and I am looking forward to Sparks of Hope. I really liked the first game, and hopefully I played through the second game on stream like I did the first one. They also talked about Skull and Bones customization and what you can do with your ship and how you will be able to get off of your boat. Which I think people were originally panning Skull and Bones for just being a boat sim game, but it sounds like you will be able to get off your boat. And maybe it's a little bit closer to kind of high fidelity HD Sea of Thieves. So yeah, hopefully it gets closer to that and is less just the boat attacking stuff from Assassin's Creed 4. As with all these showcases, I'm not going to talk about every single thing from each one, just kind of the things that caught my eye. But if you feel like I left anything out, leave a comment down below or talk to me live in the chat because I am streaming right now. The Nintendo Direct was on this Tuesday. It's been a while, and this was a big one. This wasn't like the indie showcases or an Indie Worlds or an Indies showcase. This was kind of the big one, talking about their slate for the next kind of year or so. Big one that they talked about was the next Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Engage. I've never played a Fire Emblem game, but this one kind of caught my eye. It might be the first one I play. I didn't know that Fire Emblem was kind of a turn-based tactics game. I should have. I know it's kind of one of my blind spots in gaming, but yeah, kind of excited for Fire Emblem Engage coming out in January of 2023. January 20th, 2023 to be exact. There's also a Fist of the North Star exercise game. I'm curious if this uses the same kind of stuff that Ring Fit uses, but there's just another exercise game, but it's all Fist of the North Star related, so you're all kind of doing like punchy kickboxing stuff. So kind of caught my eye. I thought it was just kind of interesting. Not a huge fan of not the biggest fan of Fist of the North Star, but I just thought it was funny to have like a boxing game with kind of like that anime theme. So yeah, I'm looking forward. This one caught my eye, just a little bit interesting. I don't know that I'll actually pick it up, but yeah, looked like an interesting thing. Octopath Traveler 2, I know that the first one did really well, reviewed really highly. They talked about all the different characters that you'll be able to play in Octopath Traveler 2. I'm still really curious. Like they have like these kind of fantasy characters. They have these kind of like more modern day characters, and I assume that the idea is that Octopath, all these characters eventually come together and interact. So I'm still really curious. I didn't play the first one. Again, a little blind spot, but yeah, they announced the second one, so I know that's probably got a lot of people hyped up. They announced that Pikmin 4 is coming in 2023. So next year they just kind of talked about it. I don't remember if there was much gameplay. They talked mostly about the Pikmin Bloom game, I think. But yes, Pikmin 4 is coming out next year, and we'll probably get more information in the next Nintendo Direct. They announced a co-op Kirby game. I have it written down here. No, I don't. I have it written down on my phone, but the Kirby game Return to Dreamland is a co-op Kirby game, so it'll look kind of fun. You can play with up to 4 players through a typical kind of 2D Kirby game, coming out February 24th, 2023. And yeah, pretty exciting stuff there. I could potentially see my friends playing through a couch co-op Kirby game together, so looking forward to trying that out. I think that's also said there's going to be online, so maybe I'll play it online as well. And last but not least, they couldn't leave 45 minutes. They couldn't leave without giving us what we wanted. The prince that was promised. The next Legend of Zelda game. It is coming May 12th, 2022. Even if you read the date wrong, it's coming May 12th, 2022. It is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. It is it's the sequel to Breath of the Wild. There's already kind of fan theory spinning out that maybe you'll be able to play as Zelda. We already think that there's going to be a Ganondorf in it, so looking forward to that. It takes place a lot in the sky, so some people are already like drawing parallels to Twilight Princess. So what does this all mean? What is a sequel to Breath of the Wild, which is kind of the apocalyptic end to all of the different Zelda timelines? So what does the next one mean? So anyway, huge Zelda fan, so very curious to see this one, and it's coming just about 6 years after Breath of the Wild, so took them a long time, but really looking forward to running around in Zelda again, and just around my birthday, so definitely picking this up then. Hopefully I can get the collector's edition this time. Yes, a lot of Skyward Sword, kind of up in the sky stuff, so a lot of Skyward Sword parallels as well, so definitely seems like it's pulling from a lot of different places for Tears of the Kingdom, so very excited about that as well. Moving right along, because we don't have much time, there was also a PlayStation State of Play this week. Sony started out talking about Tekken 8. There wasn't much details besides the fact that it was Tekken 8 was coming out, but I did read articles this week as well that kind of been built from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5, which PlayStation kind of has a partnership with, so yeah, it looks like it's going to be a really, really well done and executed Tekken. Then Sony also talked a little bit about PlayStation VR 2, so I saw a lot of articles this week. Talking about PlayStation VR 2, and I'll have a little bit more to talk about later. But there was 2 PlayStation VR 2 games that were announced, or at least talked about during the PlayStation State of Play. It was Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy. It was a which I haven't played any PlayStation. I haven't played any VR games because I don't yet own a PlayStation VR. I think I'm holding out for PlayStation VR 2, but they're already announcing kind of some of the remasters, and so the Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy is a remaster. So we're gonna get more Star Wars VR games, which is fun, or at least a remaster of one. The other one I wanted to talk about was Demeo, however you say it. It was like a tabletop RPG, but in VR. So you're like, down as like your little tabletop character, and you're kind of walking through a dungeon, and but there's like dice rolling around and big spells being cast. So I thought that looked like a really fun game. Again, made me kind of excited for PlayStation VR 2. There was some Hogwarts Legacy stuff. Hogwarts Legacy being at the last 2 State of Plays, the one in June as well as this one. This one was talking about the PlayStation exclusive content, which I kind of, PlayStation talks a big game about how Microsoft, getting on a soapbox real quick, how Microsoft kind of has a monopoly or they're doing all this exclusive stuff and taking Call of Duty away from PlayStation, and yet a week later they're promoting PlayStation exclusive content for a third-party game in their state of play. So seems a little bit two-faced there, Sony, but I'm not a fanboy or anything. But yeah, PlayStation will have some an exclusive Hogsmeade spooky, scary quest that you can do. That'll be in Hogwarts Legacy, so that looked interesting as well. That caught my eye was Pacific Drive, which you're like going through the Olympic exclusion zone, which I didn't quite understand what that was. But it just kind of looked really weird. It sounded like you were having communications with someone over the radio. Kind of reminded me of like Firewatch, but you're like driving in a car. So pretty interesting stuff. I thought that one looked pretty cool. Yeah, I just kind of wrote down in my notes like Firewatch plus driving ? So that one really caught my eye. And last but not least, they talked about their upcoming baby, God of War Ragnarok. They announced that they will have a God of War Ragnarok PS5 DualSense controller, also launching the same day as God of War Ragnarok on November 9th. And yeah, totally looking forward to that. And hopefully, I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I don't know if pre-orders are live, and if they are, I'm probably not getting it because I bet that's going to sell out fast. But I do like the look and the design of the blue and the white. And the two wolves. They also showed a little bit more of God of War Ragnarok gameplay, and really like the kind of Fenrir dogs, end of the world kind of stuff, which you have to be talking about if you're going to be talking about Ragnarok. So just nerding out on some Norse mythology here for a minute. Xbox couldn't let all the other first parties have all the fun, including Ubisoft. There was also there was also Disney doing their own thing. So this was very much like E3 in September. But Xbox couldn't let them have all the fun. Xbox had an indie dev or ID at Xbox event this week, which was pretty fun and exciting, and I enjoyed watching through this one. With Okadrian was hosting again, like he did the last one. And yeah, just kind of got to play through and talk to the devs, which was all very fun. And there was a couple exciting stories around that as well. The first game that caught my eye was Spider Heck. It's a co-op / competitive, so you can play it. There's multiple different game modes. You can play co-op, you can play competitive. You're platforming as like a spider. You're like in an arena platformer, but playing as a spider. And we actually get to see some gameplay of Okadrian picking up like weapons and fighting off some of the PvE stuff. Which looked pretty fun, and I could definitely see the competitive being pretty fun as well. But you're playing like this kind of cyberpunky spider, walking around on the platforms, shooting stuff. So yeah, it looked like a fun party game that I could see myself picking up. So excited about that one. Also saw a game called Moonscars. Looked like a 2D Souls-like with a really cool kind of just like black, gray, and red art style. At some points, it seemed a little bit too dark when we were watching some of the gameplay. I saw the character like swing its sword, and like this black creature on the black background just kind of appeared with a health bar. So maybe a little bit too dark, but I kind of liked the art style. And I haven't played a 2D Souls-like yet. Haven't picked up Salt and Sanctuary or Salt and Sacrifice yet. But Moonscars kind of caught my eye as well. They also played through an asymmetrical Ghostbusters game, which I thought was really cool. Really excited for that. I love asymmetrical horror games. I know Ghostbusters is a little bit on the lighter side of horror, but yeah, playing asymmetrical horror with friends, like it's just a good time all around, especially with the Ghostbuster IP. So looking forward to that one. And I don't have to wait too long. That's coming October 18th. So I can definitely see me and a couple friends playing through, just like we played through Dead by Daylight and Evil Dead, and Friday the 13th, all those kind of games. So now we got a Ghostbusters version where you're trying to catch ghosts in a spooky place, and someone is actually controlling the ghosts. So should be fun, and coming in October. So looking forward to that. Another fun party game. As you can see, a lot of the indie games that caught my eye were things I could play with friends, because that's what I like doing, just picking up a $20 game and playing with my friends over the weekend. This one was called You Suck at Parking, and it looked like kind of a 2D isometric, or not 2D, just an isometric driving game where you're running around and you're just trying to find a place to park. So it looked pretty fun. Like you're kind of Mario karting around. But whenever there's like a little parking symbol that pops up, you kind of want to just stop in it. And then that's how you kind of move on to the next level. I don't know if it's a battle royale where you're trying to like slowly whittle down people. But looked like a fun game and something I could see myself playing with friends. They also announced a bunch of games that were coming to Game Pass, including one of my favorite games of last year, Valheim. It's coming to Game Pass at the end of the month on September 29th. So I hope that there's going to be cross-play related to it. But I don't know that I read up on that either. So yeah, looking forward to more people playing Valheim, and hopefully we do get cross-play soon. And last but not least, the king of the show was Ynglet, Ynglet, where you play as kind of this, it's kind of a platformer, but every time you kind of interact with the world and the platforms, it kind of makes a sound. So it was like there was a very musical element to it. And the thing that won at the crown was the developer of the game was on in there, and he was just this really cool Swedish guy. And he just totally rocked it. So he was just like, yeah, I'm really excited about this game. I think people are going to really enjoy it. I even like DJ'd by playing the game, which was pretty fun stuff to hear. So yeah, for those musically inclined who want to play like a game with or platform fans who just like kind of vibing out on music, Ynglet really sounds like the game for you. So I'm looking forward to that and looking forward to people playing that because I think it looked like Big Phil went on an interview tour this week talking about how Microsoft isn't done acquiring studios. So I thought that Activision Blizzard would kind of slow them down. I thought Activision Blizzard would kind of slow them down for a little bit, satiate their appetite. But no, Big Phil is on the prowl and still looking for game studios to buy. So says that they're trying to keep up with Sony and Tencent. One of those is maybe a little bit bigger than the other. As far as gaming and diversifying gaming interests, but yeah, Xbox is still kind of perceived as behind the eight ball when it comes to first party titles. So I could definitely see that they're still kind of interested. Even when they buy Activision Blizzard, they're not going to be exclusive for a couple more months or a couple more years after that, especially with Call of Duty games. So yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see what they do next. I know that EA, I think, is on the prowl to get purchased. So I don't think that people will allow Microsoft to buy EA, but I think that Microsoft is still looking to acquire more studios and get more kind of stuff in their portfolio. So yeah, take that. Microsoft still on the prowl. So any indie devs, looking to get purchased, keep knocking on the Microsoft door. Moving right along, AFC Richmond from Emmy Award-winning show Ted Lasso is coming to FIFA 2023. There was some leaks this week talking about how the Ted Lasso video game team will get included in the next FIFA game. So I can wear my Roy Kent jersey and play some FIFA. All the more incentive for me to pick that up with my pick that up for my wife who likes watching soccer and playing soccer and all that kind of stuff. So and then I'll be able to play as AFC Richmond, so it should be fun there. Like I said, I was going to get back to PSVR 2. There was a lot of conversations this week, including some titles from Sony's State of Play. But the article I read and wanted to talk about was that PlayStation VR 2 will not be backwards compatible with PlayStation VR 1 games, which kind of a bummer. Sony, puts on this face they're always trying to be consumer-friendly front, but they've never kind of invested in backwards compatibility. And the PSVR platform isn't that big, so you got to kind of keep the people that are already invested in the ecosystem. And if they have to, reinvest to get the games that they already play, I don't think that's a winning bargain. So, yeah, kind of sucks. I'm looking forward to PlayStation VR so that I finally pick up the games, or pick up a VR headset. But kind of crummy for the people who've already jumped in and who are already invested. So Yeah, I think this is kind of a poor move, and hopefully they could do something to remedy it. But for now, PSVR one games are not backwards compatible, or PSVR one games are not compatible with PSVR two, which is why we're probably getting the Star Wars remastered. That's probably one of the bigger sellers. PlayStation. So yeah, not a good look, but I'm still looking forward to PlayStation VR two. Pretty crazy week when Call of Duty has some big announcements this week, and they're now 8th on my list. So interesting stuff there. Quite a lot going on this week, but Call of Duty did have a kind of a big announce this week. They talked about their beta program. They'll have an open beta coming later this month. They also, I believe this is the first time we've gotten their launch day of November 16th. They talked about how people will be able to get early access when they pre-order, what kind of content is coming to Modern Warfare 2, what kind of content is coming to Warzone. So kind of a lot of stuff going on for Call of Duty. So I'll have a link down below, or you can check out all the Call of Duty stuff. We actually had, it wasn't all announcements this week. We actually had games coming out. A game that I've been excited for quite some time. The Wandering Village went into early access. It is a base building kind of management game where you build a base on the back of a giant creature, kind of like my go-to is Discworld, a turtle. So hopefully we can get my base on the back of a turtle. But they just kind of have these like kind of walking giants where you get to build your base on them. So I'm curious how the kind of creature will interact with the base building. But I am excited to check that out. I don't know where I'll pick it up. Probably on my Steam Deck. Looks like a fun kind of cozy Steam Deck game that I can play. So looking forward to that, and could potentially play as a friend zone game this month. So be sure to check it out next month for our review. Last but not least, Team Ninja is slowly bringing back Ninja Gaiden. No, they've been working on these kind of games for quite some time. But we got to see gameplay for Wolong Fallen Dynasty. The article I read kind of put it as like a Souls-like, but these kind of Ninja Gaiden Neo has kind of filled this kind of role as a faster paced, but still kind of like precision driven game. So definitely been around for quite some time. Team Ninja is known for these games. So, but their next one, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, we got to see about 8 minutes of gameplay this week. So feel free to check that out down below. I'll have a link to the gameplay video. That was quite a lot that happened this week. If you feel like I forgot anything or any of the other games that I didn't talk about that you think I should keep my eye on from any of the showcases this week, feel free to leave a comment down below or talk to me live when I stream this every Friday. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend, and I hope you have a super day. Bye!